According to an international research study, up to 65% of workers in developed markets own or make use of a tablet device. Although the number is significantly lower in Africa, more and more people are gaining access to tablets and with that access to enterprise applications. Joining me in studio today to share his insights is Mike Fairon, General Manager, Product Development and Innovation at MTN. Mike, welcome.
Afternoon, Natascha.
Now, at the end of last year, MTN Business launched 20 enterprise-based applications. A market we know is growing, but not as developed as we've seen in my intro. That said, what's the uptake been, and is it on the same scale as your more consumer-focused applications?
I think in certain areas, Natascha, we've seen a healthy uptake of these services. So in some areas, we're into thousands of subscribers already. And the growth going forward in some of the applications like data management, etc., and device management, we're seeing very healthy uptake. In some of the applications, we're seeing a healthy appetite to usurp the applications, and in other applications, we're seeing that there isn't really an appetite for them. So we're seeing quite a mixed picture at the moment of applications.
Now, MTN has quite a significant footprint on the continent in Africa. Have you rolled this out to countries outside of the South African borders as well?
We have two levels of applications, one for businesses and one for consumers. In the business applications that we were speaking about earlier, it is predominantly South Africa at the moment. In the consumer space, we've launched an application store that will eventually be available on the entire continent. In fact, we've launched an application developer competition for the entire continent.
Well, what's restricting the growth into the African market? Is it due to the fact that the average African outside of South African borders does not necessarily have access to or own a smartphone or tablet device, or is it a connectivity issue?
I think we're slightly different in the continent in terms of the smartphone penetration. So we are only about 20-25% of South Africa, and then you can roll those numbers onto the continent or connect it onto the internet via a smartphone. So we still have what we call quite a lot of feature phones in the market. So our applications need to be slightly different, and to be able for people to use a feature phone to still get access to the services. So once we get those nuances right for the continent, and get the local level of applications required at a continental level, we'll see the uptake start happening.
Let's step back to business applications. We know in business time is money, and with today's mobile workforce, you're supposed to be connected 24/7. How are business applications changing the way we do work, and is it bringing more productivity to the fore?
Yes. So when we look at the applications that we have launched and the applications that we're going to launch for businesses, there's three areas that we're fundamentally focusing on. The one is increased productivity, because the pace that we operate at today is just getting faster and faster. And how we collaborate is changing as well. So we're looking for applications that increase productivity there and have deployed applications there. We're also looking at telecommunications applications that transcend both fixed and mobile networks, so that people can interact with each other regardless of the type of network that is required for that interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last level of application that we're looking at is for cost reduction for organizations. So we have to be able to show organizations that there's a cost reduction to using the application. And typically that comes through enabling a business process, either through the use of the mobile network or the use of a mobile device of some kind.
Now, when it comes to app development, there are two things, obviously cost and skills. Skills deficit. When it comes to developing business applications, do we have the skills in South Africa for those processes?
Yeah, there's about 1,000 ISVs, systems integrators in the country. Of that, about 60% are SME companies, which is a healthy sign that there is a robust layer of integrators underneath all of the typical larger companies. So there is, in our opinion, a healthy base from which to develop these local applications. And that's an important point, because local understanding and local relevance will lead to uptake. You know, information out of America and out of Europe, etc., only has so much relevance to certain market segments. So our local understanding needs to be interpreted into local applications.
Now, as a business, when you choose your app developers, how do you scrutinize them? How do you make sure that you're getting the best quality and the best value and the best understanding of the market as a business?
So we have a full partner program that has a number of tiers in it, where we grade the type of partner that we're interacting with. So we deal with the traditional OEMs, the big software houses, and there typically our engagements are quite strategic. And then underneath that, we deal with people that have basically an idea, and they bring it to the table, and we allow them to incubate the idea. And then depending what we're doing, then we structure the deal according to what we're doing. So there's a myriad of different ways that we engage with the different systems integrators to make sure that it is a win-win situation for both parties.
Speaking of win-win, when it comes to applications, security is always an issue, and the safety, especially when working in the cloud and working with business development. How do you secure that the apps that you develop, that they developed with security at top of mind?
So there's a number of layers, Natascha, that we focus on to make sure that for a corporate, that they have the required level of security required for that particular type of interaction that they're doing. So typically we secure the device, we can go down to securing the SIM card, we go down to securing the actual data. And then the next layer that we'd look at is securing the actual applications. So there are different levels that we focus at from a security point of view.
Before we go, before the time runs out, what is the future of the enterprise app market in South Africa?
I think it's going to evolve quite a lot. I think that there's going to be a healthy uptake for traditional communication and collaboration type applications. We already see that with what we call over-the-top providers. So there will be a healthy appetite for that. And then eventually we will move into typical internet-based applications rather than downloading applications to a device, which means the device needs specific capability. So you need to be able to store the application, etc. So we're going to evolve into true cloud-based applications where the dependency on the device is taken away, so that regardless of the device, people can get access to that application over the internet. So it's going to be quite an interesting period over the next couple of years to watch how the applications evolve and the speed that they evolve and the speed that they are applied to businesses.
Well, we'll keep a close eye on that development period. Mike Fairon, thank you very much.
Thanks, Natascha.